Hello, hockey fans. Minnesota Hockey Connection. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, I know I've been missing some shows throughout the season, but that doesn't mean I'm not following hockey. Not as much as you. You are? I'm not as much as you.
No one is. No one is, so don't worry about it.
A little scare yesterday. We thought maybe the Minnesota Wild at the trade deadline might jettison Zach Parise. Sounded like the Islanders, but it didn't happen.
Or even any other trade. Like a lot of people are talking about Koivu. They were talking about Dumba and Brodin. And there was a lot of talk on all these. One thing for sure, everyone thought there was going to be another trade right at the last minute. And it never happened. So we got the team that we have now, and it's going to be here for the rest of the year.
Well, Bill Guerin talked about Zach, said him and Zach are friends. You know, this is something they've been talking about for a while, whether or not it was going to happen. Lou Lamoriello was back in, he's with the Islanders, and, you know, him and Zach are friends. So, yeah, there was some talk
from
there.
New Jersey.
Andrew Ladd was the player mentioned in the trade, but didn't happen. Tonight, the Wild are playing Columbus, and they're bringing up this Jerry Mayhew. He's the AHL's leading scorer. He's 27 years old, 39 goals, 61 points in 48 games in the AHL. And maybe he can come up and do
Well, he was here Sunday, but he got up here and they didn't dress him. So he was up on top in the press box watching. But he's probably played a couple games, you know, and so maybe they want to just rest him a day before they do something.
Yeah, the Wild have won some big games. They've won games that you didn't think necessarily they're going to win. And
right.
But they haven't won at home yet under interim coach Dean Evanson after the firing of Bruce Boudreau.
Yep.
So the coach has to get a win at home. Maybe tonight's the night with Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus is not playing good.
And they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Right,
in the East.
They were in for sure, but then they lost about 7-8 in a row. I don't know what happened. Was it last night or Sunday night they played? I know it was tied going into the third period, but whatever. They're not playing good. So we'll see. Maybe we can get a couple points tonight. Then we go back to Columbus on
Friday.
Yeah.
I think it's Friday.
So let's see. I got it right here. Yeah. We got Friday. Yep. Here. We got Tuesday here. Then we go to Detroit Thursday. And then to Columbus on Friday. You're right.
All right. Minnesota Wild, 6th in the Central Division, 29, 25, and 7, 65 points. 6-3-1 in their last 10 games, which is respectable. But they're behind 8th place Arizona in the Western Conference with 70 points. And Winnipeg is right there with 69, Nashville 68. And then 11th place in the playoff race, Minnesota 65 points, just ahead of Chicago with 62. And you look over to the East, St. Louis is in first place in the West with 82 points, but you look over at the East, Caps 82 points, Lightning 85, the Bruins 90 points, and even Pittsburgh still in the mix there, 80 points.
Right. Well, St. Louis is in town Sunday night, and they took care of the Wild. I mean, there's a team that right now is their best offensive players hasn't played for a couple months now from injury. And
Tarasenko?
Yeah. And then they have a defense man out. I mean, they have to be pretty deep the way they're playing.
Yeah.
Because they look so good out there on Sunday night. I mean, that's a team to beat, I think, in the West.
Yeah. Well, they've got great leadership. They've got great goaltending.
Yeah, there's another thing. That goaltender, once he came in last December, a year ago, in December, Bennington really showed up and that he deserves to be a number one goalie in the National Hockey League.
We'll finish up with some Wild talk. I know we've got a lot of high school talk, but this trade with Pittsburgh, Zucker going to Pittsburgh, and in return, the Wild get 2 players, a draft pick, a first-round pick, I believe.
Yes.
And but this Galchenyuk, Alex Galchenyuk from Pittsburgh, born in Milwaukee. His dad was playing for the AHL Milwaukee Admirals, and then this young Alex was born there. But so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to be a first or second line player right as of now. But and who knows if he's even going to be here at the end of the year. but they got a first round pick and they got a defenseman that was drafted up in the first round. So one of the high prospects of the Pittsburgh organization.
Well, why wouldn't you think he'll be here? He's not going to demand a big contract.
Right, but they're looking at what they want for next year.
All right.
We'll see. Time is going to tell a lot of things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes.
And then we heard, it was a great promo, the Wild in that St. Louis game. St. Louis beat the Wild 4-1 at home, but that was the NBC Sports Network. Great promo with Justin Morneau of the Twins, formerly of the Twins, and
Right.
Joe Mauer playing catch at a snow-covered Target Field, and then they make the official announcement
Right.
that St. Louis will host, or rather Minnesota will host St. Louis
Right.
in next year's Winter Classic.
Right. So that'll be neat.
That was awesome.
We kind of knew it was going to be St. Louis or Winnipeg, and it turned out to be St. Louis.
You know, I thought maybe Las Vegas might be a good opponent. They are a Western Conference foe. Not too likely to host an outdoor game being in Las Vegas, but
But I guess, we're getting it, and we'll take any team as long as we got the outdoor game.
have you heard this new franchise in Seattle? Now, they're not going to come around, I think, till the start of the 22 season.
Right.
Have you heard a name yet? Has that popped up yet?
God, I thought I heard some of the names that they were thinking.
They're throwing some names around,
Yeah.
but the one I haven't heard that I think is real fitting, because you've got all those volcanoes and extinct volcanoes, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens,
Yep.
the volcanoes,
Whoa!
Seattle volcanoes.
We got the hurricanes. Now we can have the volcanoes
There
to go
you
with
go.
it.
There
See
you
who
go.
can win that game.
Catch us up on high school hockey, especially me.
Okay, I'm going to start. Hey, let me just start with the girls. I was down at the girls' state tournament, and on Class A on the first day, Warroad beat Wilmer. Warroad has a very nice team and a lot of young kids. But Cloquet, Esco, Carleton got down to state this year, and they beat Hutchinson 2-0. But the best team in A by far is Breck, and they were ahead 8-0 after the first period. Then they kept the puck away and didn't make another shot for the next two periods because they just didn't want to score no more.
There's been some grumblings about Breck,
Yeah,
obviously.
should going up. Oh yeah, everyone
Yeah.
thinks they should be up, and because of all the top players they get. Then Rochester Lords was the last team, but then in semis, Cloquet played a very good game, and Taylor Nelson scored a hat trick and got another goal in the 5-3 victory over Warroad.
I was able to see that game.
And then
actually.
Breck beat Rochester Lords 9-1.
Yeah.
And then final, Breck. We knew Breck was just going to be too good for Cloquet. I mean, Cloquet's a very good team, and they deserve to be in Class A. But Breck took them 6-0. And then in the finals for the Double A, so funny, in the beginning of the year, Edina and Andover were 1-2. With Andover being 1 and Edina 2, and they played the first game of the year. And Andover beat them 1-0. So now they end up playing for the championship game, the last game of the year. And Andover beat them. So,
and the score?
I think it was, let's say, 5-3.
Now, I heard that there were some sore losers on that Edina team. What happened?
Yeah, some people are not happy because their fans took off right away. They didn't stay for the awards or nothing like that. All the students and all just took off.
Okay, so it wasn't anything to do with the players or
I
the
don't
team.
know. There could be more stuff going
Okay.
on, but I heard from another person that's big in Edina. She said she's very mad at what happened there.
All right.
That's what I heard from a person up in the press box.
So, Class A champs in girls hockey?
Is Andover in Class AA and Breck in A. And then Mrs. Hockey was Olivia Mobley from Breck for Ms. Hockey.
All right.
And then now we're going to the...
Why is Breck so good? What's going on down there?
Well, they can get all these top girls they recruit. They don't have no feeder program, so any private school, You can call it whatever you want, but it's still recruiting. They have to go out and get them.
Yeah.
To get the players. They just don't come say, educate. Oh, by the way, I play hockey too.
Has-
they know they play hockey before they get there.
Sure. Has Breck been this good for a long period of time? Or is
Breck's
this-
always been good.
Yeah.
Blake was always good, and they moved up to AA.
Oh,
And
okay.
Blake has won the state tournament both sides.
Okay. Oh,
So
okay.
it was always Blake and Breck on the two private schools in girls hockey.
Okay. Isn't that something that the state of Minnesota has 2 classes for girls hockey? How cool is that?
Right.
That's awesome.
So then all the boys are playing their section finals this week after a lot of semifinals. There's only one 4A and 4AA playing their semifinals tomorrow night, but everyone else is down to their finals. And so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all these finals and sections are coming down. And I can go over a few of them right now. In Section 1 in Class A, we got Mankato East and Mankato West playing each other.
The Mankato's.
Yeah, so Mankato's going to come to the XL.
you
Okay,
go.
that's Wednesday down in Rochester. And Section 2, we got Delano and Armstrong. Armstrong defeated Orono, the number 1 seed, in a big upset on...
Boy, when was the last time Armstrong was on the verge of a state appearance?
Well, they dropped down to A now.
Okay.
They were double A
All right.
for all the time.
Yeah.
Armstrong Cooper
Yeah.
over in New Hope. And then in 3, we got Hutchinson and Litchfield. 4, we don't have the finals yet because they do their semis on Wednesday. But then 5, we got Monticello, Pine City. That'll be on Thursday up at Fogarty Arena in Blaine. And then, but here's the top teams now. That one of these next 3 will win the state tournament. Oh, I'll almost guarantee it.
Don't count your chicks before they
I
hatch.
am. I
All
really
right.
am.
Okay.
Okay, St. Cloud Cathedral plays Alexandria, 1-2 seeds. Then in 7, well, this can be a big game for Denfield on Wednesday night at Amsoil. Hermantown, the number 1 team in the state, and right now they're the number 1 seed in 7A, played Duluth Denfield. And Denfield played one heck of a game against Greenway when they beat them 4-0 on Saturday night. And I tell you what, if Denfield can play the way they played Saturday night, Denfield better watch out.
Well, I think 2 things with that game. They can't be in awe of Hermantown, and I don't think they are. They can't play defensively. They've got to go at Hermantown, and they've got to play with some confidence and try to get that first goal.
And the number 1 thing, their goalie has to be hot.
There you go.
Because Hermantown's going to throw a lot of shots at you.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, and probably the best game in Class A finals is up in Thief River Falls, and they got War Road number 1 against East Grand Forks. And I tell you what, either one of those teams are going to be a good showing down at the XL. So I like both of those teams. I've seen both of them. So that's so one of 6, 7, and 8. My 3 best teams, I think, St. Cloud Cathedral, Hermantown, and East Grand Forks, with War Road right there next to
All right.
it. So I see one of those 3 teams or 4 teams winning the state tournament. Let's get over to Class AA, the big boys. Okay, we got Lakeville South against Hastings. Usually Lakeville North has been in the section finals for, boy, at least the last 10, 12 years. And Hastings upset them on Saturday.
All right.
So Hastings will be playing Lakeville South for the right to go to the XL. In 2, we got, big upset of a number 1 seed, Chaska. You never hear Chaska playing for the championship, but they're playing EP. My team, I think, is going to win it all, the number 2 seed. So we got the 4 seed playing the 2 seed over at Mariucci tomorrow
What was
night.
the upset?
They beat Prior Lake, the number 1 seed.
Okay, Chaska.
Chaska beat Prior Lake, yes. So number 3, we got upsets on both of them. We got Rosemont, the number 1 seed, got beat by St. Thomas Academy 3-1. So they're playing Burnsville, who beat Egan, and that'll be at Braemar on Thursday night. St. Thomas Academy in Burnsville. On 4, we have to wait, but most likely it's going to be Hill Murray with the winner of the White Bear Lake Stillwater game. And that, either way, if Hill makes it, it's going to be a great game down at Aldrich Arena down in Maplewood.
Oh, okay.
Aldrich,
Okay. Yep.
where Hill Murray plays their
Yep.
games. 5 is Blaine and Maple Grove. I picked those two teams to get there. Blaine's the number 1 seed, but I'm kind of going with Maple Grove on that one.
Why?
And I just like Maple Grove a little better. Blaine has a couple good forwards and that, but sometimes I don't know, I just like Maple Grove.
All right.
Okay, and the 6 AA, we got Blake, who moved up to AA a couple years ago, playing Benel. So a private school is going to get in on that section. Edina got their behinds. Yes,
They got beat by?
Blake, 5-1
Oh, okay.
on
okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
So a big, no one thought it would be that big of a score difference, you know.
So the Kurt Giles-led Edina Hornets out of the tournament.
Yes.
All right.
They can't win the back-to-back. They
Oh.
cannot win back-to-back. And then Benel beat Cretan 2-1. So 2 private schools will be playing for the championship at Mariucci in 6AA. And by the way, there's 2 games at Mariucci on Wednesday night. So if you're in the Twin Cities, get over to Mariucci. That's every year I try to go to that because you get 2 games instead of 1 section finals, and you get updates on the other sections that are playing their finals that night too. So it's not bad. And then and here's the funny one. Andover is playing Elk River. Number 6 seed Elk River beat Rapids. And the number 1 seed, everyone knew they were going to get to the finals. Will be playing Elk River, but they're still playing the game in Amsoil up in Duluth.
All right.
A lot of discussion on that. Why are they playing the game there when both teams are from the Twin Cities? They thought they can find a place down there, but I guess with the contracts that they have set up with Amsoil way ahead of time and WDIO that broadcasts the games every year, that they don't have enough money to pay to get it out of there.
So when is that game?
This is Thursday night. Thursday night at Amsoil. So Andover and Elk River. And then in the last game, section finals is Wednesday night up in, I didn't even say where they're playing that game. I think it's over in Bemidji because Moorhead's playing Roseau. So number 1 seed Moorhead, and we'll be playing number 3 seed Roseau. And Roseau could upset them. They lost Moorhead earlier in the year, so we'll see. But there you go with Class AA. But hey, all these section final games, boy, they're the best games in hockey every year. I always say the section final games are better than the state high school tournament games because there's so many great games that go into overtime or close to it, you know.
Well,
goes right down to the end.
Yeah, we've seen some good ones with East and pick your opponent, Grand Rapids,
Right.
Elk River, Andover. Yeah.
Hey,
What's up with Duluth East? There's been a lot of talk about Duluth East and the team they had this year, and you don't hear Duluth East finishing under 500 and
well,
bowing out.
many things happened this year. First of all, they lost 3 key players that went to juniors. And I, to this day, thought they were not ready to go to the USHL or the USHL second league. And
What's the USHL's?
well, they have a it's not NA, it's it's the 3 league or something like that.
Okay.
But it's a development team to get into the USHL.
Okay.
But the 2 players that did play in the USHL, one has hardly dressed most of the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So how do you develop if you're not playing?
Yeah.
And both these kids would have been on the first line at East. Very good offensive players. Both would have been on power play special teams. They would have got a lot of time. They would have got a lot more looks from recruiters and scouts.
Yeah.
Everything was so much more positive, and they can develop here by playing in the elite league. And
It's frustrating because as fans and maybe even some alumni, you want those kids to, take advantage of their high school
and be with your
years,
friends, number one.
because you can never get that back, and you'll always say, "What if?" And if you're a good enough hockey player to advance and maybe make it to a junior team, that'll always be there. But finish high school.
Right. And then number two, they had a lot. They couldn't get in sync this year because of in the beginning of the year they had a lot of snowstorms and weather that canceled Duluth school systems. And when Duluth school systems close the schools down, they can't practice with their coaches. So a lot of practice time with coaches. And then in mid-season, right after the first of the year, the whole team got sick. And they were sick for almost 2 weeks.
Oh boy!
So they weren't practicing at all, and they had to cancel 2 or 3 games there.
So almost
Postpone games. And redo it.
perfect storm of bad juju.
Right. Everything
All right.
that went wrong went wrong. And then when they got to the playoffs, they hit a hot goalie.
Next year, what's the outlook for East?
Depends if everyone stays in that, and who, there's always players. You get 20 kids on a team, you get 20 different personalities, and some kids don't like discipline. Some will take it, and they're true leaders. They just do what they have to do to make a winning team, make it a team. And there's individual players. You have to put it all together, and that's
Sure.
the hardest part about coaching. I tell people all the time, there's 3 things I don't ever want to be. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a ref.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a parent of a hockey player.
Did you see, by the way, in the NHL, Calgary picked up Derek Forbert?
Oh, you did? I didn't see that.
Yeah, Forbert went. I'm pretty sure it was Calgary. Yeah, it was
Okay.
Calgary. Yep, Derek from the Kings
Yeah.
to the Calgary Flames.
Yeah. I think Carolina picked up Brady Shea, another
They
Minnesota
did.
kid.
They did. As a matter of fact, they were talking about it on the NHL Network that you're going to have 2 Minnesota boys on defense for Carolina, Gardner.
Oh, yeah.
And Brady Shea.
Jake Gardner.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best skaters. He was like a Nick Leddy skater, one of the
You
best
had
skaters.
to bring up Nick Leddy. Let's not talk about Nick
Okay.
Leddy.
Hey, how about the Mr. Hockey candidates finalists?
What do you got?
Okay. Well, let's just start out. The 3 guys I think might win it. And by the way, I'm honored that I got to vote for this. Usually it's all the pro scouts in the state, all the D1 coaches, and then a select few that do a lot of high school hockey.
Who contacted you?
I got certain people that
Okay.
I've been doing this for a few years. And here's how it works. You vote, I'm not going to give you who I voted for, but you pick 7 players, skaters. And it turns out that everyone's vote goes into a system, and then 10 finalists come out of that.
Yeah.
But I only can vote for 7 players.
Yeah.
And then I number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where 1 gets more votes than 7.
So there'll be another voting round?
No, it's done because they got it down.
Oh,
where
they're going to compile all the votes.
Yeah.
So, okay, sure.
So, but that's how they get the 10. But they already know who won.
Okay.
But they're not putting that out there.
Is this the first time you've done this?
No, I've done it for about 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
But
First time I've heard of you doing this.
yeah, I've been doing it. A couple pro scouts said you had to get Jerry. He knows more than.
Oh, congratulations.
But
What a surprise.
But 3 players, I think one of these 3 are going to win. Blake Biondi, Hermantown.
Sure. UMD recruit.
Yep. Matthew Gleason, Cretin-Durham Hall, Colorado College recruit. Had a great year, but their team lost to Benil in the semis, 2-1. And then another UMD recruit, Andover, Riot Kaiser, defenseman, UMD recruit.
Nice.
So one of those 3 are going to win it.
All right.
But here's the other finalists. We got Jake Boltman, defenseman for Edina. Luke Grammer, Moorhead defenseman. Blake Perbix, St. Cloud Cathedral. Carson Reichel, Blaine, forward. Nate Schreitzer, Benil defenseman. And Grant Slakinski, War Road forward. and then Ben Steves, Eden Prairie forward, who is a UMD recruit.
Okay.
So
Nice. What's that final one? UMD recruit?
Ben Steves, EP,
Okay.
Eden Prairie.
All right.
Eden Prairie.
Any Gopher recruits on that list?
You know what? The top 10, not one is committed. One kid's
Jeez.
is uncommitted, so
Yeah.
it's still a chance. But all the other kids, we got 3 at UMD, 2 at Colorado College, 2 at Northern Michigan.
Huh.
So Grant Petoni's kind of taking some of our Minnesota kids.
Over to Michigan. Okay.
Yeah. But then in the Frank Brinzik, you get 1 vote. But they put 3 goalies as a finalist. It used to be 2, but now there's 3. So we got Carter Clafton, Grand Rapids, Hudson Hodge, Moorhead, and Remington Kepko, Hill Murray.
What's going on with goalies in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, they just keep on.
Jeez.
Yeah.
His name's not Hunter, is it?
Yeah, you got another goalie coming in from Grand Rapids for UMD too, Stetsko.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, let's talk UMD real quick because I know that we're towards the end here. UMD will have home ice advantage for the playoffs coming up.
right, they're out at Colorado College this weekend, and they had a big split with the tough Western Michigan.
Yeah.
They're playing a lot better hockey out there, and
Yeah.
they're getting some skilled players and all. Used to be kind of like muggers.
You know, that was a tough loss on Friday night. They were ahead in the third period in Kalamazoo and lost, I think, 5-3.
Yeah, so they split, so they're right in there, the top 5 in the country.
What about injuries?
I don't know anything about injuries.
All right.
Did you hear anything?
Who was it? It escapes me, but we're down to our final 2 minutes here. We do want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, where this show is produced. You can find us on the internet, MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. Find us on Facebook, Minnesota Hockey Connection, and like us on there. And Jerry, final thoughts?
Well, state tournament hockey, I mean, either get to a game in sections this week or down to the XL in St. Paul and see some great kids playing hockey. There's going to be some very good teams down there, and it's the best time of the year in Minnesota.
Gophers, real quick.
Gophers, they're fighting for a playoff spot, to get to the regions,
Yeah.
but they might have to win their Big Ten tournament.
Okay.
They're right on that borderline. They're about 18th right now. They have to
Yeah.
get up to about 12, 13,
Okay.
otherwise win the tournament. So,
Well, again, check us out on Facebook, like us there, and we'll be back here next week to drop the puck. We'll see you then.
see you at the rink.